Our motivation at MongoDB has always been about focusing on innovators, focusing on developers. It shows up in everything we build, all of our roadmap, all the features that we create. Now, in order to enable developers to do their best work, we asked ourselves, where do developers spend most of their time? What's the biggest challenge? And time again, we found that the answer is working with data. And what we've seen is that application requirements are constantly evolving. We're all being asked to do more. Our applications are demanded to be always on. Data needs to be completely responsive, serving customers all across the globe. Information needs to be able to flow from a cloud data center all the way to the edge seamlessly. And our experiences need to be more personalized and smarter than ever, serving thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of customers at scale. Atlas dramatically simplifies the way you work with data in your environment. And that's why we conceptualized this idea of a developer data platform, a unified and elegant way of working with data for all of your operational needs. So we asked ourselves at MongoDB, what if streaming data could be as easy as working with MongoDB? If we could make it that simple. And that's why we recently introduced the preview of Atlas Stream Processing. This is everything you need to create responsive applications that leverage real-time data based on information living inside of Kafka and other streaming platforms. It's fundamentally built around the document model, so it handles all the heterogeneity with our flexible data model seamlessly, reducing errors and simplifying your code. We've extended our query engine, so now you can actually query data right on top of a stream with the rich aggregation framework and new capabilities we've added to it. And of course, we've done this in a way that's elegantly integrated into your database. So now you can deal with data in motion and data at rest in a simplified, unified way for the first time. Simply put, Atlas Stream Processing reduces the friction for building event-driven applications. Now, semantic search with vectors has been around for some time, but there's actually a new pattern emerging with public foundational models, open source models, and LLMs that we're seeing quite often as well, which is called RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. This allows you to actually ground truth public LLMs, such as ChatGPT, with information that's specific to your organization, your proprietary and domain-specific information. This allows you to customize the responses from these public LLMs with your own data to deliver a customized experience. With Atlas Vector Search, you don't have to stand up a separate vector database. This is natively part of your Atlas experience. The same API, the same driver, the same tools work seamlessly as with your core database, alongside your standard search indexes and your operational transactions and indexes. It's the same elegant way of implementing AI as we've done with everything else in our core platform. Now, enabling a rich AI-driven experience is more than just your data platform. So we've partnered with a handful of industry leaders at every level of the AI stack. This is a very dynamic ecosystem. We're constantly adding new partners. If there are technologies that you work with that you're excited about, please bring it to the MongoDB team. We're always interested in learning about new technologists globally who can help us provide a solution to you, our customers. Now, I'm happy to announce several technical enhancements to Atlas Search that we recently released. First, we added dedicated Atlas search nodes. This gives you the ability to independently scale your search nodes outside of your core database. Gives you better performance, better flexibility, and customization of the performance profile. But it does so in a way that doesn't break that elegant and integrated developer experience. It's still one driver, one API that you interact with. Next, we added programmatic index management to all the MongoDB developer tools, from the shell to Compass, making it easier to work with programmatically when creating indexes as part of your CI/CD pipeline. And finally, we added Search Query Analytics, which gives you insight into how your customers are actually searching for products or objects in your actual application, and thus allows you to tune and make that search even more relevant and accurate over time.
So last year, we launched the Atlas CLI as a way to interact with your resources in Atlas. Starting today, with that same CLI, you can control your local development environments in the same way you can control your environments in Atlas. In a few simple steps, you can set up a local environment, and in a few seconds, you have it up and running, ready for you to load some data into it after connecting and start working with it. The local development experience for Atlas is, however, not just about running local MongoDB clusters. Our goal is truly to bring the entire platform to your local environment. So also available today, the Atlas local experience comes with integrated Atlas Search and Atlas Vector Search for development. So users of Compass spend the majority of their time writing, testing, and optimizing queries and aggregations. And often, when a developer is working on a query, especially a complex one, the biggest amount of time is spent writing the first version of it. But querying your data should be as easy as asking a simple question in a language that feels natural to you. And with the generative AI technology that is available today, we've made that possible. It takes only a few seconds to write from the simplest query to the more complex aggregations. And just ask a question, ask it in plain English, and Compass will generate the corresponding query for you.
We've spent an immense amount of energy and effort in this release focused on scaling performance. I'll walk you through some of the examples. One of the areas we put a lot of investment was in our core query execution engine. For queries that are leveraging groups, for example, aggregating sales transactions, in 7.0, you can now see a 50% improvement in latency. For more fundamental queries, like filters on a dashboard, for example, you can see a 90% improvement in latency. And perhaps most impressively, our $lookup capability, our join capability in replica sets, is now 30 times faster in MongoDB 7.0. A new industry first called Queryable encryption. It uses cutting-edge encryption techniques to satisfy the requirements of both encrypting data in use, but also keeping it usable. It uses non-deterministic encryption. So every time a value is encrypted, it's different and unpredictable in how the hashes are stored on the back end. And most importantly, it allows that information to be searchable. So we're excited to announce that Queryable encryption is now GA with MongoDB 7.0. Now we're excited to take that even further with Atlas for the Edge. It continues our commitment to enabling developers to do more with our platform, no matter where data resides. And importantly, it brings processing and storage capabilities closest to where it's needed most, where the data is generated. You can now deploy Atlas Edge servers anywhere. This allows you to have ultra-low latency compute where the data is generated and to be able to process that information locally without having to send it back to the cloud. You'll be able to build on top of Edge servers with the standard MongoDB drivers or our device sync SDKs like you would any other application with MongoDB. It's seamless and natural, nothing new to learn. And you can extend your data layer even further to wearables, point of sale systems, etc., all dealing with conflict resolution automatically, as well as intermittent connections. So if you have a mobile application that loses connectivity, you can still deliver a great experience and automatically synchronize the data when connectivity returns. Atlas ensures all of this is seamless. You don't have to worry about any complex integration code, any complex conflict resolution logic. The platform handles it for you. Relational Migrator focuses on 3 key areas. First, schema modeling. It understands your existing rows and tables in relational schema and allows you to create a hierarchical document-oriented schema easily in a beautiful design canvas. We then focus on the data migration. That can be a one-time migration or a CDC sync to make sure that your production environment is kept in sync with the target MongoDB database ready for when you cut over. And we automatically generate sample app code. So based on the new schema, we'll generate some new app code so you can start querying that information and get a jump start on your app modernization. Now, regardless of what industry you're in or what stage you are as a company, as a project, as an individual, our commitment and promise to you is that we will deliver a platform that stays ahead. It gives you the capabilities you need to build elegant, modern applications at a scale, performance, and security that's best in class. And we are obsessed with focusing on making you successful here at MongoDB.